We bring in our markets correspondent, Kevin Green, to take a look at these levels. As I just noted, we saw a record for the S&P 500 again today. The Dow Jones Industrial Average, we're going to need some new hats soon. I heard, by the way, Peter Tuchman, friend of our network, known as Einstein, he has a S&P 7,000 hat. It's in a box. You're not really supposed to take it out, but there are some real bulls on Wall Street. Let's hear what you have to say. Good morning, Kevin Green.
Good morning, Nicole. Yeah, obviously we still see some bullishness here in the market. We're pretty much flat on the S&P 500 so far. We did open above that 64.75 level, which has been a key area of resistance over the last couple of trading sessions here, and rightfully so. We are seeing a little bit of selling for right now. One thing to note, you are seeing NVIDIA selling off pretty aggressively to start off the day, so we'll see if any news headlines really try to impact the semiconductor space. Obviously, we had the Applied Materials announcement yesterday, but also this morning, President Trump alluding to potentially announcing chip tariffs either next week or the week after next as well. That might be driving down the shares for now. But if you're looking at the levels for today, to the upside 6,500, to the downside first level 6,440. These are the same levels that we've seen over the last two trading sessions here. They continue to hold up. We continue to see some consolidation. And you can see that chart formation here, maybe potentially trying to break out to the upside here, outside of trying to get back into this range. So buyers have stepped in at the 6,440 level. Let's see if that's going to happen today. If we do see a breakdown, and any breakdown below 6440, you're looking at 6400 here. When you're looking at the makeup of the S&P 500, we still have around 60% of the stocks in the green so far, and healthcare is obviously leading the way with United Health here. But it looks like when you're looking at technology, the biggest weight within the S&P 500, getting a little bit of selling pressure for right now. So last thing to kind of keep on the radar when you're looking at the levels for today. Yesterday, we actually saw a drop in liquidity in the E-mini S&P 500 book depth. That just means that instead of having a significant amount of buyers and sellers on both sides of the market, you started to see a little bit of a contraction in that book depth, and that contraction also leads and could be coincided with intraday volatility. So let's see if that trend actually does continue for today. We do have the options expiration as well, which could create a little bit of interesting market dynamics towards the last hour and a half of today's trading session. So let's see if that's going to actually provide us a little bit of fireworks, either to the upside or downside, Nicole.
Yeah, understood. I mean, when we think about what's going on in this market, a lot of folks continue to see these all-time highs. Expiration is a big deal. What about crude?
Yeah, crude oil, obviously, it's seen a little bit of volatility over the last couple of trading sessions here. Today, down about 1.2%. There's concerns about increased supply hitting the market. We have some production quotas also being increased, as well as forecasts being increased by the IAEA. The IEA, which is one of those things that we have to definitely keep on the radar here, but it is also pricing in the fact that we have this Russia-Ukraine conflict, as well as these talks with President Trump and Vladimir Putin today. So let's see what the result of that's going to be. Right now, it's being priced in that maybe we will see a relaxing in sanctions, but if not, Nicole, we could see crude oil as well as gasoline, diesel, for that matter, actually catching a little bit of a bid. It's still below the $65 level, which has been key. And if you look at the average volume-weighted average price since the lows of hitting $55.12, we actually broke below that level pretty much this time last week. That's actually very bearish for the market. So your first area of support is $60. But once again, we'll keep an eye out on this. Right now, crude does look a little bit more bearish than bullish, but the events for today and the announcements that we will hear and the commentary over the weekend probably will drive oil prices aggressively either higher or lower by Monday morning or even Sunday night for the futures open.
All right. What about financials? I have so many guests who come on. They love the financials in this space right now. Look, there are guests who come on and say it's a great time for all stocks. But what about the regional banks? What are we watching here?
Yeah, regional banks are really trying to continue this bullish momentum here. We did have this channel formation basically from those April lows, and we did see a brief break below that channel line or below that support area, but we have quickly recaptured that for now. The reason why I'm looking at this one, Nicole, is if you look at that MACD actually completed a bullish cross yesterday where that 12 EMA is above that 26 EMA, and the 12 EMA is actually crossed above the zero line. That's actually bullish. And if you go back, I didn't highlight all of them. If you look at the majority of the examples of these bull crosses on that MACD, they usually coincide with a 3.5% to up to a 6 to 7% increase in price before we actually see another bearish move within regional banks. So this one is kind of interesting. kind of similar to that healthcare setup that we talked about yesterday, Sam and I talked about yesterday. This one technically looks like it's trying to gear up to try to rip at least a little bit higher from these current levels, with that first area of resistance sitting at about $65. And this is obviously a rate story. So if we do get the economic data to support more aggressive rate cuts over the next couple of months here, regional banks could be a tailwind, as well as the Russell 2000, which regional banks is a major component when it comes to the earnings growth and earnings power of the Russell.
Understood. Any final thoughts, Kevin? I mean, you know, you've been watching this market pretty closely this week, and we've had so much to take in, and next week we'll begin again. Any final quick thought? What are you watching maybe going forward?
Right now, I mean, we are breaking down here a little bit to start at the open. Let's see what happens with the financials. I'm sorry, not the financials, with the technology sector. I think that's going to be very key. And then also look at the steel stocks as well, the Cleveland Cliffs of the world. If we do see actually increase in tariffs on steel over the next couple of days or even weeks, that could actually be a tailwind for a lot of these steel makers. But we are seeing some selling pressure, some aggressive selling pressure to start off today's session. Hopefully we're able to kind of recoup some of these losses over the next couple hours or so.
Okay. Kevin Green, great to see you this morning. Thank you always, Kevin. Such a great job on the charts and the details that we all need to know.